know that in order for our activity, in order for this business to work, we have to cast a wide net. We have to do fundamentally more work than what we think we're doing.
80% of success is mentality. It's how you show up. I have met a lot of wildly successful people who are not terribly bright. I mean, they're smart within the realm that they're functioning in, but they're not an above average intellect. And to be fair, I've met a lot of people who are actually pretty bright who are not successful by their own terms. Because it's your world, it's how you frame things.
Qualifying homeowners, you're seeing price, condition, timeline, motivation. Those are things that are important with a homeowner. With a real estate agent, I don't ever want to filter them out of my purview. And the reason why is this, because the realtor who's also a barber, he's more likely to call you when he gets a deal because he's not a real realtor, he's a barber, right? And so I don't pre-qualify my agents. I talk to all of them.
I found out that your worst enemy is you and your ability to stay true to the thing that you want to do. If you lie to yourself and cheat yourself, well, then you're not fooling anybody but yourself. But if you actually get up every day and you got that action, and you got that energy that's like, I have to go and do this because I'm trying to get here. And you know every day you're working towards that, well, you're going to get there. It may take you longer, some may do it shorter, but you're not going to lose. So I got addicted to winning. And I found that you can win more when you surround yourself with more winners.
I do not want to see or hear you writing offers saying, I'm a wholesaler, or I don't know what I'm doing, I don't have the earnest money. You should not be walking into that. You need to walk in with extreme confidence.
Yep.
If you were to go into a conversation with an agent and say, hey, I think I'm going to buy this, but I might have a partner that will, you're instilling doubt in their head, and they're not going to want to work with you. They're going to want to work direct with who the end buyer is.
That's what's wrong with most of our athletes today. We don't practice to be great. We don't practice to be dominant. We practice to practice. What do you mean by that, Prime? I'm glad you asked. We practice counting the number of periods. We practice understanding how much time we got left. We practice just to get through practice. We cutting deals in practice. You go soft, I go soft. We don't practice to be dominant. When I ask you, what was your purpose of practice? You ain't got no answer for me. I'm gonna ask you, what is your purpose of practice? I don't care if you practice at work. I don't care if you practice with your relationship. I don't care if you practice in any endeavor you choose to do. What is your purpose for practice? I practiced to be the best ever. So every time I walked on that field, I had a purpose for my practice.
We started just really honing in on building the relationship with the agents. And then what we found is that even if that wasn't that deal we got, the odds of them turning around and bringing us another one were actually pretty high. So that's how we started building the relationships.
How many do you have?
Personally, me?
Yeah.
10, 8, 6.
I have unlimited.
Unlimited hours in a day.
That's right.
Explain that if you don't mind.
Well, like for example, let's say I have 100 employees and they all give me 8 hours each. That's 800 plus my own personal hours. Now we're up to 824.
Yep.
And guess what? If I want more, I just hire more people.
Yeah.
So now I have unlimited hours in the day.
And what do you do with your hours?
Personal hours?
Yeah.
Whatever you want.
I never feel that I'm at my best. I feel I still have room to improve. I still set goals for myself to strive for. I'm never complacent with what I've achieved. Even though it's been very successful for me, I still feel I have a lot to prove, not just as a player, but as a person.
Another hack on how to accelerate your business is hold yourself accountable. But a lot of times we don't hold ourselves accountable. We need somebody to do it. Why is it that when you work out by yourself, you do so much, but then when you get a trainer, you do so much more, right? Like I'm a very motivated person. I'm an extremely hard worker. I consider myself somebody that wants to push myself, but I can promise you when I'm in the gym and it's just me, I'm about 70% of what I can actually do. When I have a trainer watching me, spotting me, pushing me, I get this level of energy and strength that I don't even realize I have.
What you got to do is also make sure becoming successful is something you take personal. When you fail, that's something you take personal. You got to master the art of taking the L. You're going to lose. That's what makes you successful. All the failures you overcome, that's what makes you successful. But becoming successful is something you got to make and take very personal. When we set our goals, we got to make sure we achieve these.
I always tell people to think of it from this perspective. Builders can buy hundreds and thousands of lots per year, just one builder, versus a cash buyer. Cash buyers probably do what? 5 to 10, 15 flips a year. So my one builder can outbuy your one cash buyer. With that being said, I can close a lot more land deals with one builder than I could with, one cash buyer, which is why I say I can scale my business. I can do a lot more volume. I can close deals weekly, consistently with land.
The metric, the key KPI you need to know when you're TTPing, when you're talking to people, whether you're talking to homeowners, whether you're talking to real estate agents, the key metric to getting success is having 50 conversations a day. 50 conversations, not connections, not contacts, not text messages, 50 conversations a day.
Right. Can I say one more thing? Say, please.
I wanna say one more thing, because I know a lot of people that's watching this, y'all not at the position we're at right now, right? I want y'all to remember this: when times get hard, go harder.
I'm telling you,
right? Because eventually you're gonna become good at this, or whatever you do.
Yep.
And then once you become good at it, it becomes like, it's like momentum.
Yeah, momentum.
If you read the book Compound Effect, it talks about it. Once you get momentum going, everything becomes 10 times easier. It literally feels like I'm living on autopilot. So that's why I tell you guys, just keep going hard, and then eventually you're gonna be at the position we're at.
Yeah.
And you might even be even better.
Yeah.
Which is lit. Because that's where we came. This is what we're doing this for.
Exactly.
So you guys could get value and be in a position or better than where we're at.
Now, let's talk about who those 50 conversations a day are going to be with. If you are having 50 conversations a day with homeowners, okay, that's just your average homeowner, maybe someone from the high equity list, maybe somebody from a pre-foreclosure list, whatever that is. If you're having 50 conversations a day with homeowners, what you will find is that you will, within 90 days, after having 6 to 13 touches, get one deal under contract, approximately, okay? And that's great. A deal can pay you $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, and if you got all that under in 90 days of work, great for you. That's more money than doctors make. But what I also want to share with you is the hack that I figured out as to why you always see me clown on cold calling homeowners. Why do I make funny videos of me trapped in a freezer clowning on cold calling homeowners? Why do I do that? Why? Well, here's why. Because that is a very transactional approach to doing this business. And what do I mean by transactional? I mean, you get a deal under contract from a homeowner, you sell said contract, you get your check. Are you going to do another deal with that homeowner? Think about it. Not likely. Very few homeowners have multiple homes. If they do have multiple homes, they're not just your regular homeowner. They're very likely a landlord, and that's going to be a completely different conversation, right? So for the most part, homeowners, they've only got one house to sell you. And that's amazing, and it's great, and you're going to solve so many problems, and you can help people at the homeowner level. But this is what I realized, is that there are real estate agents out there who take their business seriously. And they themselves are having 50 conversations with homeowners to see if there's a problem that they can solve, if they can help them out with a distressed situation, or if they're ready to finally take a move and go down from their oversized house once they become empty nesters. For whatever that reason is, real estate agents who take their business seriously will have roughly 50 conversations a day with homeowners. Now, what if you talk to 50 real estate agents a day who were each talking to 50 homeowners? You would effectively be talking to 2,500 homeowners a day. Do the math. If you talk to 50 agents who each talk to 50 people, you're having 2,500 effective conversations with homeowners a day through their agents. Do you see why this is so powerful?
We want to pick up these properties at 30, 40 cents on the dollar. And to them, that's so offensive that they don't even consider us. They don't even look at it. They're like, no, I can't ever go to my seller and produce this. It's like, legally you have to. And what actually, as a matter of fact, because they have they put up such a resistance, what we always do, when we make an offer on a lot that the realtor is listing, we're actually also sending it to the owner. We're sending a copy to both, because there's a high chance that the realtor will just trash it, not even show it to the owner. And we've gotten a bunch of deals accepted that way, where the owner says, I got the offer. Yeah, we just mail it to the owner. It's not illegal.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because agents
we send it to both.
Right.
And we tell the realtor, by the way, a copy is going to the owner. And then you better believe the owner then presents it, that the realtor really presents it.
Yeah.
And in that case, sometimes we get deals.
Just like seller finance.
Well, agents don't realize who determines value.
Right.
It's the buyer.
Exactly.
Every time. Every time it's the buyer. Understand that for any kind of deals, guys. It's not the market. It's not the government. It's not the agent. It's not appraisals. It's not banks. It's a ready, willing, and able buyer determines the value. So just make sure that you understand the power that you hold there being the buyer on these deals.
Make sure you outworking everybody in the room. That's you coming before them, you leaving later to them, whatever it is. If I'm in the studio, I listen to more beats than everybody. I write more verses than everybody. I create more records than everybody. Biggest boss. I live by it.
It doesn't feel like discipline. It just feels like it's what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like you going to the gym, after a while, it doesn't feel like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be disciplined today.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, I go to the gym. This is what I do, right? So once you really start to like get into your bag with something consistent, other people on the outside will be like, yo, how are you so disciplined? How are you so consistent? You're like, what? This is just.
I'm coming back. And he built this relationship with these people time after time. And as I was coming up, you know, I believe that people give you a blueprint for you to understand and grow from it. Information is free.
Right.
You know, you choose to use it.
Right.
That's up to you. That's your personal cost. If you don't see the value in free information, well, that's you. I see the value in information.
Many people don't spend time studying the craft.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not just like what to do, but studying successful people in the space, like studying the industry, studying. And I think it takes somewhat of a desire, a certain level of interest to find the fine details that make the difference.
Yeah.
Because what you see the first time you see it, let's say, I don't know if you're a mechanic, right? What you see is, oh, everybody's got a car. These are the most common problems, right? But nobody's studying why successful mechanic shops are the successful mechanic shops.
The level of your success is always going to be congruent with the level of your belief. And so if you believe a thing that's limiting, then you will always be limited in that area. We have to refuse to believe these lies. The ceiling that you're thinking is your ceiling right now will one day become your floor. You want to make $100,000. There were several of you who had never done that before. And you're going to get to $100,000 in revenue, and you're going to realize, my ceiling is now my floor. And then you're going to want to make $500,000, and you're going to get there one day, and you're going to say, this is now my floor. And then it'll go on and on and on and on and on. But you have to become very aware of your own limiting beliefs.
I first set a goal to make X amount of dollars, and it just wasn't working out. And I realized it wasn't working out because I can't control someone taking money out of their pocket and giving it to me. You know when I really started to succeed? When I set a goal that was 100% in my control, which was to ask 10 people to buy a t-shirt every day. Some days nobody bought, but I would still celebrate because I completed the task that I set. And this was my process of saying I'm gonna do something and actually doing it. That's gonna be the hardest thing for all of us. Saying I'm gonna do something and actually doing it.
You're gonna lay in the bed you make. You're not gonna get away with nothing in terms of the energy. You know what I mean? The energy is always gonna return to you. So when you just living in this cycle of being negative all day and just putting out negativity, and that's the only energy you putting out, it's gonna return to you in a different form than you put it out in. So I would just say, you know, master your energy. Do your best to master your energy and what you put out. You know, and unless that's what you want, you know, because you're entitled to whatever you want to create, whatever experience you want to create for yourself. Adjust the energy. You know what I mean? As best you can. Adjust what you wake up thinking and what you say. And then lastly, what you do.